Everyone says your father is the creator of Afrobeats. All right. Yet you once said Afrobeats has always been here. He was just able to translate it into a universal language. Can you elaborate more on that comment?
A language, a universal language that we understand as humans. Okay, so I being a socialist, the original core, but I'm not a communist. Communism is another European way of appropriating something African, and suddenly, it loses its African roots, its European content. We Africans are the original social people, So in that aspect, I can't really believe anybody invented anything, because invention in this day and age is intrinsically tied to ownership. And the truth is, nobody brought anything here. Whatever is here, okay, so this is the concept. This is how I see the world. This is how I see things. This is part of my spirituality. Whatever it is has always been. So even if this TV as it is right now did not exist maybe 500 years ago, and people that lived in those days didn't watch TV, it didn't mean everything to make this TV wasn't there. The idea, it was there. It's always been there, but it's always one person that the universe reveals it to, so that we can also see it, to put it in a way that we understand, to put it in a way that we can perceive. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever it is that we put together has already been put together millions of years before you got here. But it takes one of us, or a few of us at some times, to be able to interpret it in a way that we as humans can perceive. That's just what it is. The nature is the inventor of everything. Nature invents all, creates all, owns all, And whatever it is that we are able to manifest and perceive in our reality, so we can thank this person. So that's, for me, I give thanks to my dad for being able to decode, that's the word, decode Afrobeat. Now we can hear it, we can perceive it, but it doesn't mean that sound has not existed for millennials, millennia, that's it. Millennia is the plural of millennium. Yes, I still remember my English. So yeah, it hasn't existed, for whatever. So whatever the scientific, nuclear bombs, whatever it is, the uranium, plutonium, whatever, it has always been there. But now, okay, you're the one that brought it together in the way it could go this way. But it didn't mean that nature did not know it was there. Nature knows all,
And I wanted to ask also, was he inspired by James Brown in regards to the outfits of the band and also the amount of musicians he had playing with him? Just what the music needed.
No, I think in this aspect, James Brown saw a Fela show before Fela saw a James Brown show. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That was my answer. James Brown saw a Fela show before Fela saw a James Brown show. So.
Said on February 18th, 1977, right? About 1,000 Nigerian soldiers attacked Fela's, how do you say it? Calacuta Republic?
Calacuta Republic, yeah.
Calacuta Republic, right? They burnt down the house, beating Fela and everybody in the compound. Did they throw this man's mother out the window?
Yeah.
They really threw her out the window.
Yeah, and I believe also, because this 1977, this was in the height of the Cold War. And she was Africa's only surviving leading socialist at that time, with any kind of real political power and clout. So I think the attack was really 30% on Fela and 70% on her, because Obasanjo was really a CIA stooge. He was really Jimmy Carter boy. And I think that woman was really the target that day, because why would you throw a 70-something-year-old woman? How could she have resisted
Hold
this?
on, fire. They threw her out the window?
Yeah.
I always thought it was a thing where, like, an embellishment where they were trying to make the situation.
No.
They really threw her out the window.
Threw her out the window. But that's what happened. That's my theory, because why else would a young military man, how could she be resisting that you need to throw a 70-something-year-old woman out the window if you had not been told by some superiors that you had to do that? I think it was some kind of I think she was part of whatever was happening that day. Taking her out of the picture had something to do with it.
And she was hospitalized straight through after
Yeah,
that to
yeah.
the death.
She didn't recover from the injuries. Nah.
And how much did that impact your father? Because he made about 4 songs on that incident alone, right?
Yeah, man. But the song, but then that changed his life, you know, because I don't think Fela ever recovered from his mom from that. He blamed himself. It really changed his life. He made him more spiritual, and then he started to seek a connection with her. You know, it really impacted him greatly.
Can you elaborate more in regards to the spiritual aspect? Because I know he wasn't dealing with Christianity, Islam, right? No. So what was he dealing with?
You know, African spirituality, you know, and also in terms of connecting to the other world, you know, now while being alive, but wanting a connection with the ancestors, you know, like it used to be. And the world today is too loud. So you need to begin to isolate yourself. You need to, oh man, my dad went through a lot in his own journey as well because of these incidents. I'm telling you, I can't even begin to explain the things he sacrificed just to find that inner peace again, to find his mom again. His mom was his center, you know. His mom really gave him, she was like his anchor to life. She was it, you know, for him. She was that center of his universe, you know. And the house was her house. That's something everybody did not know as well. You know, the house did not belong to my dad.
Your mother's,
it was her house. It was his mother's house that she gave him as a gift, and he lived there. So she comes there regularly to keep him away from all the girls he kept chasing. You know, so she was there on the day this, you know.
All right, you were talking about the grandmother being the core and providing balance, right?
Yeah.
What was
both political and spiritual?
What was her view when he started to have numerous wives? Because he had one wife.
Yeah, first.
Then something, I don't understand what occurred where he had this idea where he should have numerous wives.
I mean, I think the more he embraced his Africanness, Fela also saw his. You have to understand that in the 60s, 70s Africa, the propaganda against Africanness was huge. We were just coming out of colonialism. We were basically monkeys. We never had any history. We never made anything. You know, the lies that were taught to Africans coming out of this era of our slavery and immense subjugation under whiteness were immense. Nobody wanted anything to do with being African. The best they could do was wear some African garb. You know, nobody wanted to touch anything African. Nobody wanted to even be identified as African, you know? So for Fela, culture became a weapon to be able to completely embrace that which everybody was so afraid of. To say, see, man, this is who we are. There's nothing wrong with it.
So he wanted to embrace every aspect of African culture.
The polygamy of it, the spirituality of it, whatever it is that everybody
the drip.
was proud.
I always saw him in the drip.
Whatever it is you are also afraid of, you know, he wanted to live it and be like, you can't do this, you know. So for him, it was a statement, political statement, as well as a huge cultural statement. But his mother, you know, you have to understand, she was a reverend's wife, regardless of her socialist, Pan-Africanist struggles and political prowess. She was still a reverend's wife. She wasn't having that.